Good evening and welcome to the October 10th meeting of the Beavercreek Park Recreation and Culture Board. I will begin with a call to order. Jackie? Roll call.
Mr. Corbett.
Here.
Mrs. Fulcher.
Here.
Mrs. Meyer.
Here.
Mr. Schmidt.
Here.
Mrs. Heaton is with us via Zoom tonight.
Thank you, Jackie. You also have in front of you an agenda for tonight's meeting. If you've had a chance to look at that, I will accept a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
You also have notes from our September 12th meeting, the minutes there that Jackie took. And again, if you see no changes, well, either you can share changes with me or I'll accept a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second. Oh.
All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Okay, and then we're going to jump right into the staff report, which I believe Zach is going to give us tonight, talking about the municipal budget process. Fun stuff.
Good evening. I know you are all thrilled to learn about the municipal budget process. When I was putting this presentation together last week, I was even joking with Aaron in the office that as I was looking for photos to go with the slides, I was really kind of wondering, what should I put? I don't really want to use charts and graphs, so I just used random park photos. Again, our budget allows us to do all the fun things in parks and recreation, so there are photos of fun things in parks and recreation. So I hope you enjoy the photos with the presentation. So starting out, we'll just go over a little bit about budget preparation, how we create our goals and objectives, the process with City Council reviewing and approving the budget, and then some highlights for 2024. So starting out, we begin budget discussions in mid-August. The Finance Department provides us with a starting point with the budgets. It's an updated document that has updated wages, auditor projections, estimated fuel costs for the next year. The Finance Department goes and sets a lot of those projected costs for us at the beginning of the year so that they're consistent amongst the city. And then we work to make some other adjustments. Within the budget, we are required to maintain a 20% fund balance to have in reserve at all times. So when we say we have a balanced budget, that includes a 20% reserve. So when we receive the budgets, Aaron and I go out and meet with frontline staff members, our section leaders, key staff members, senior center supervisor, and seek input from them on the budget because they look at things from a completely different there's a different eye than Aaron and I may. So we really take and value their input into the budget process, assess some of the needs for the upcoming year, especially as it relates to some of the capital projects, equipment replacement, some different projects. We seek their input and really want them to be a part of the process as well. And it's good for them to understand this process and how it works as well, to see the bigger picture. The budgets are then due back to the Parks Director in late September. And that's when Kim sits down with Aaron and myself to review the budget. And this is when we prioritize a lot of the capital expenditures, projects. We review a lot of that. If there's a discrepancy in the fund balance, if it's sitting below or above the 20% fund balance, we'll make some decisions on what projects or operating costs we may need to trim or we could add to. But usually Aaron and myself and Kim all sit down and kind of work out some of those final details. During this time, we also create goals and objectives for the year. So we present to you all early on in the beginning of the year on our goals for the year. That's all developed during the budget process. We create those goals based on several different documents, such as the Park Master Plan, the Strategic Plan, our ADA Transition Plan, our new Natural Resources Management Plan, and other items we use to help use those as guidance, creating our goals and objectives for the upcoming year. Once all of that is created and Kim and Aaron and myself sit down and review the budget, it is then reviewed with the Finance Department and the City Manager, and that happens usually in early October. This is when some final adjustments are made. We'll review the budget, and if there's any changes, especially if there were large percentage increases or decreases in certain line items of the budget, reviewing some of the capital. Really, if Finance or City Manager have any questions regarding anything associated with the budget, we kind of iron out all those details during that meeting in October. Next up, the budget goes to City Council. There's a work session that's held in mid-October. It's open to the public for public input, or if you're just interested in hearing about what's going on within the municipal budget for the next year. And for this year, that is Wednesday, November 15th at 5 p.m. in council chambers is when the park staff will review our budget with City Council in the work session. Again, that is open to the public. City Council they review the budget line item by line item, asking plenty of questions, getting answers, making any final modifications during that work session, and then the budget is formally approved in the last meeting in December. So if you tune in or you show up to the last meeting in December, usually when we have the State of the City, you'll see it's pretty much just a formal vote to approve the budget, but know that there's been lots of work that's happened prior to that point. Some highlights for 2024. So we generate $1.69 million a year from our park levy fund, and that comes from a 1.2 mil park levy. That represents 61% of our total revenue. And so this levy brings in, it's a fixed sum levy, so it brings in $1.69 million every year, and it's a continuous levy. The sum of this revenue does not change as it goes year to year. So with the current property reappraisals, this levy stays flat and consistent at that $1.69 million in revenue. We also receive, next year, we're receiving approximately $340,000 in grants, of which $297,000 comes from the Greene County Council on Aging that goes towards senior center operations. We also generate about $438,000 in services and fees for classes and events and whatnot. And then we receive a $240,000 transfer from the general fund, which is the equivalent of the hotel motel tax. And some of the expenditure highlights for next year, since we have no major changes in revenue, really there's no major changes to the operational expenses for 2024. There's some minor changes with wages, cost of goods that have increased, so there's some normal adjustments just because of that. And as far as some of the capital items, we're replacing a pickup truck and trailer on the park's maintenance side. There will be some fitness room equipment replacement. And we are replacing a pedestrian bridge at Stafford Park. Paving a walking path around the perimeter of Virgolito Park. We'll be in year 4 of 10 of our ADA transition plan. And a playground replacement at Walnut Grove Park. And that is the municipal budgeting process in a nutshell. And if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer those.
Thank you, Zach. A lot of folks are concerned with the new property value assessment that they're doing this year in Greene County. Most people have gotten their letters already. Anything you can share with us about kind of how that impacts the levy moving forward?
Yeah, so as I stated, our current parks levy, that's a fixed sum levy, so that revenue stays flat and consistent for the continuing amount of time. Okay. The city, we just published some information on our website. So if you visit beavercreekohio.gov and you click on the park levy tab, there's another section within that park levy tab to answer some frequently asked questions about the property tax reappraisal and what that means for municipal taxes. And there's also a calculator that residents can use to see, they can plug in their current 2022 home evaluation and their 2023 reappraisal. And it's a calculator to estimate what your property taxes would be on the new park levy that is on the ballot in November.
Awesome.
So you can see the impact that would have.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. Thank you, Zach. I appreciate that. I think one thing I would encourage all the citizens, anyone that's watching, regardless of how you feel about the levies, do your homework. There's a lot of information out there that I think the city's worked hard to try to be transparent through the process. If you go to the Greene County Auditor page, there's a lot of information there on how property taxes work in Ohio. So just be an informed voter, and and if you do understand the system, maybe help your friends understand it, because it can be complicated. That's really all I would say. Anybody else have any questions for Zach or any comments? Awesome.
Thank you,
Zach. Appreciate that. One thing I will add to that, Aaron's getting ready. We as a park board are volunteers. I don't know if people realize that. We really are volunteers. We have no authority, and but we work to support the parks, advocate for parks, volunteer when we can. But we also have the opportunity to participate in processes. And I know revenues become more and more important, and we got to be a part of kind of coming up with the plan on how we recover costs for events and what we prioritize and what we don't. And I for one appreciate the opportunity to be a part of that, and it helps us kind of understand how important providing a balanced budget is to the community, being fiscally responsible with the tax dollars. And if you're on the outside looking in, you don't always see that, but I'm confident in my experience in saying that I think we've got a trustworthy group of people here, and I appreciate that. So, thanks. So all that boring stuff out of the way, Aaron can give us an exciting division report now.
Sure, I'd be happy to. Good evening. So here's a nice photo from our fishing derby. I'll share a little bit more about that here in a few slides. We will start with the senior center, then I'll move into recreation, and then I'll give some updates on the kind of parks side of things. Some upcoming fun. The Snooty Fox Tour. This has gotten so popular that we do this twice a year now at the Senior Center. It is a day of shopping at the Snooty Fox, and the Snooty Fox has several locations. There is a chain of upscale consignment shops in the greater Cincinnati area. So people love going down to the Snooty Fox locations and looking for great deals on designer clothing, furniture, purses, shoes, whatever you can imagine. People get some really fun stuff for a great deal. And Candy's looking at me like she's going to sign up this year. So we are looking forward to that. Call the Senior Center if you are looking to reserve your spot on the bus. You do pay a fee to go on the Snooty Fox trip, but the fee includes your transportation all day long, your lunch, and snacks throughout the day. There might even be some beverages included on that Snooty Fox trip as well. So it's an awful lot of fun. It's a whole day thing. The bus departs the center at 8:30 in the morning and will return around 5. And probably my favorite Senior Center Luncheon event is coming up on Halloween, October 31st. We have the Halloween party. There is lunch and a costume contest. We definitely want to thank Legacy Beavercreek Skilled Nursing and Rehab for their sponsorship. And part of their sponsorship, they get the pleasure of being the judges for the costume contest, because that is a hard judging job. You can see a photo from last year's costumes. There are some creative people who work very hard on some really fun costumes at the center every year. So if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, make sure you call. I believe we have a waiting list, but there usually are some last minute spots to fill up, so you might be able to snag a spot off the waiting list. All right, moving on over into all ages of fun. So our fishing derby, I wanted to share an update. This moved to a week-long fishing derby, and we continue to receive positive comments, and we have record participation this year with over 71 participants who sent in their photos of their children fishing, and it's so fun. Jackie knows we get these emails into the department. It's so fun to see their photos and also the comments that families share with us about how much fun they had fishing, or how it was their first time fishing, or how grandma or grandpa got to take their kid fishing, or what they caught or what they didn't catch. And it's just really fun to help facilitate this opportunity for families. And we had we had 10 prize baskets, and each prize basket had multiple gift certificates for local businesses and attractions. And I definitely want to thank Jackie. She went above and beyond in reaching out to many of our local businesses to see if they'd want to participate. And if you look back in one of our Facebook posts, there's a list of all of the local businesses. I don't want to list them now because I'm afraid I will miss somebody who donated. But all sorts of cool things to do and see with your family, plus some fun toys and trinkets in your prize basket. So all of those prizes have been drawn, claimed, and picked up. We had our perennial trade day on September 23rd at Rotary Park. Over 60 people attended, and Cecilia and Lisa Green and Cecilia Bidagare, who Cecilia had been on our park board, are longtime volunteers who run this trade, and they keep really good records of who attends. So they told me, yep, 60 people attended, and 10 were brand new to the trade. So we are picking up new people. But 60 people attending the fall trade is more than we normally have for the fall trade. So it's growing for sure. And they've said, we need more tables at Rotary Park next year for the fall trade. We already bring more tables for spring, but fall is starting to challenge the spring trade in popularity. And Lisa offered a hyper tufa planter workshop afterwards, and I had to Google what that meant. But she offered that as a freebie. They drew winners for people who wanted to participate, and she did that as an extra onto the perennial trade. I think she maybe did 10 of those. And I just want to thank them for their ongoing commitment to this program. They have a loyal group of followers who like to do this, and they built a small community of people who like to garden together in a way here in Beavercreek. Over the weekend, we had our Try-A-Truck and Fire Department open house. You probably remember that we always partner with the Fire Department in offering their open house the same day and time as we offer Try-A-Truck, so that families can enjoy both events at the same time. And we had a ball. We had for sure over 500 attendees. It's always hard for us to guess how many, estimate, I should say, rather than guess, the attendees. I can say that we had one staff member who was trying to use a clicker to click every new face she saw, and we were up over 560 clicks. We had one vehicle that came with a car that is painted like a Hot Wheels car, who gave out Hot Wheels cars to every child, and he'd given out over 400 cars. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So we had several new vehicles like the Hot Wheels car that came out, and we just had a great time. The weather turned cold Saturday, but it wasn't as cold, I think, as we all thought it might feel. The sun even peeked out. So I definitely want to thank all the people who came out to enjoy with us, and all of the companies and local organizations that sent a driver or multiple drivers and vehicles out on a Saturday morning to engage with the community. Oh, and thanks to Day Air Credit Union, I can't forget them, for sponsoring our event. They're great partners. Coming up on Saturday, November 11th, we will have our Veterans Day celebration. It starts at 2 p.m., and this year, the mayor is always the master of ceremonies. He wants to make sure that we are celebrating and sharing our local veterans' stories. So the beginning of our celebration will be a little less formal before we start the formal presentation, and give more of the attendees time to share their stories and mingle with one another and with the mayor and other local officials, and share and celebrate their stories about their service to our country. So we'll have the formal presentation right after that. We want to remind everyone we will have limited bleacher seating available, but bring a lawn chair if you want a cozy spot to sit. And we have several new fitness classes. We are happy that we have a new instructor, and she has a small business called Well Rooted Health and Fitness. She's offering several new classes. One is a Rise and Shine boot camp. That'll be on Tuesday and Thursday mornings. Another one is Walk This Way, WEIGH. That's on Tuesdays and Thursdays, a little bit later in the day, 11 to 11:30. And then she's offering a special nutrition workshop, which is a one-day nutrition workshop on November 1st, just during the lunch hour. So hopefully a few new options if you're interested in some new ways to get moving or new ways to get healthy. And we want to highlight our Halloween activities. We are thankful to multiple instructors that we have who are creative and offering some new opportunities this Halloween season. Coming up on October 16th, that's next week, is our STEM Junior Room on the Broom program. This is for kids age 5 to 8, I believe, and they'll be reading the book Room on the Broom and doing some activities to go along with it. Also on October 16th, our purple paintbrush partner, Kristen Bailey, will be doing a clay jack-o'-lantern workshop. And this is for a little bit older kids. And they'll be, making some cool lanterns to decorate for Halloween. On the 23rd, we will have our Halloween goat yoga. This is for adults to come out and wear your costume. The goats will be in costume for sure as well. And on October 30th, Drums Alive, Dory Phillips is offering a Drumskilla Halloween Beat event. So if you've done Drums Alive before, the fitness class with the exercise balls, this one will be Halloween themed the night before Halloween. Any questions so far about our activities? Okay. All right, we have been busy in parks maintenance. We are at Rotary Park working on a ball diamond renovation on Diamond 1. So a contractor came out and installed new infield material, and then staff has removed and leveled the outside perimeter of the diamond. And this fall, you'll see new sod be installed. We are looking forward to the improvements on that field. Hopefully, maybe get a little bit better drainage, a little easier maintenance as we go through the season, and better quality of play on that field. So we are looking forward to that. At Gershbacher Park, we have the new perimeter path is underway. I believe we updated you on this last month. The staff has installed the base for the path, and we'll have a contractor come out and pave the path. Of course, as long as the weather works out, that should happen this Thursday. Over at the Senior Center, if you've pulled in lately and you've wondered what is going on, all of the little islands in the parking lot look like you see in the picture right now. They don't look that attractive, but they will look really attractive soon. Staff is actively working on those, installing landscape rock and colored concrete in there. That will look nice and help us with maintenance. There used to be vegetation growing, and it was a little bit hard for us to keep up with all the time. So we're looking forward to this improvement. And we've also got additional upcoming projects. There are 21 new trees being planted soon at Rotary, Seville, and Walnut Grove Parks. It's very exciting. We've got commemorative bench installations going on, and winter is coming. Restrooms and water fountain winterization will begin November 1st. So we don't want those pipes freezing up on us. So we'll start doing that here when November comes. I'm happy to entertain any questions or have Jackie and Zach help me if I don't know the answers. Yeah, it's the type of planter that the plant is in, and it is just kind of unique. There's concrete and another material mixed together to make the actual planter. They look pretty. Google them.
The perennial days are a really good example. We talk a lot about volunteers, how important volunteers are to everything that happens in the community, and I think that's a really good example of a couple community members that are really passionate about something and being able to share that passion with the community and how they've gotten so many more people involved. So I appreciate Cecilia and what was it, Lisa Green. The work they're doing there. Anybody else have any questions?
I just wanted to say I think it's really neat to see the wide variety of activities we have for people of all ages, from kids to seniors. I would highly suggest people go out and look at the parks and the trails, and the fall colors are all out there right now. Weather's not too bad, so it's a great time to explore the parks and see how they look and the improvements that have been made. So very impressive.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Aaron.
Yep, thank you.
Then, as we move along, old business is the next item on here, and I think would take a minute to mention our partner lunch that we had back in September 21st, I believe. We welcomed members from at least 5 of our partner organizations there just to network, to show a little bit of appreciation for what they do in the community. And we're thankful for those folks that came out to represent those different partners and are looking at ways we can improve it and get more involved next year. Also in this area, we typically talk about volunteer opportunities that are coming up. You guys have anything to share regarding that?
Yeah, so volunteer opportunities, there's always opportunities at our senior center. They're currently looking for van drivers and escorts. They're really trying to make a push to get more volunteers there. But if anyone is interested in helping at the senior center, whatever your skill set may be, or you're unsure, please visit the senior center, talk to one of the staff members there, and they would be happy to help find a great volunteer opportunity for you. Also within our parks, there's lots of opportunities for projects with park cleanup and playground mulching, but we've also been getting a lot of requests for Springhouse Park and different projects out there, whether that be trail cleanup. Still working on getting a lot of the torn up debris, like some of the mulch and wood chunks and chips off of the trail. And then there's lots of opportunities for scout projects or Girl Scout projects, Eagle Scout projects, anything like that. If there's anyone interested in completing a project, we have lots of opportunities at Springhouse Park and any of our other park facilities and locations.
And if somebody was interested in volunteering, where would they get that information?
A couple different spots. You can go to beavercreekohio.gov, and on the parks page, you can fill out a volunteer opportunity application. You can also call our office at 937-427-5514, or you can email parks@beavercreekohio.gov.
And do you offer, community service hours to like high school students that need those for their graduation seals?
Yes, we do. And we're actually working with 2 girls at Beaver Creek High School currently. They are building fish habitat for the pond at Dominic Lafino Park.
Great, thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, our next 2 items, new business, I'm not aware of any, and no unscheduled visitors tonight. Action items, really only one small one. We're going to follow up with the partners that attended and those that were unable to attend the partner lunch and do a little assessment there to determine how to make that event better. I don't have any other action items, so if no one else does either, we can move along to board time. And Candy, would you start us off?
I thank everybody for what they've done. I just want to remind people to vote. And I think it's November 7th. So you can vote early. I think early voting starts tomorrow. And so just get out and vote and let your wishes be known.
Thanks, Candy. Sharon?
I also want to just thank you guys for doing like the Try It truck and our fishing derbies that gets so many different people involved. But the Hot Wheel car that was there is already ready for the parade, is already committed for the parade.
That's awesome.
And he told me he has over 4,000 cars that he's already bought to hand out at the parade. So, yeah, super excited about it.
Matt?
No, again, the volunteer opportunities are a fantastic way to get involved. I drove past the Try Truck, and there was every bit of 500 people there. It was very, very well attended. Again, I would encourage everybody, wherever your stance is, to get out and vote. You can't have a say if you don't vote. So, yes or no, get out and vote.
Christina? Do you have anything?
If you can hear me,
Hold on. We're going to put you at the mic.
vote. Vote.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Matt kind of talked about stole mine earlier when he was talking about encouraging people to get out of the parks. And the weather turned a little bit this weekend, and it's really a nice time. Today, a little cool, but today was a beautiful day to get outside and enjoy our natural spaces here in Beavercreek. Everybody else has said vote. I can always add that. One thing I will say, too, thinking about the parks thinking about the Try a Truck and other events, and those are targeted to Beavercreek citizens. You are our constituents, but I think we probably overlook the number of folks from outside our community that come in to enjoy those things. And that's really good for Beavercreek and for our community. Those folks are coming here, enjoying our parks, spending money in our businesses. So maybe that's overlooked a little bit when we think about, how much our parks impact this community and recreational programs as well. So that's all I've got. If there's nothing else, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
Second.
All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.